All right, hey guys, welcome back to Prairie Exotics. Steve here, Nashar. And this is the last one we're gonna be doing, and I got a couple different friends to show you, and then we'll do one more creature feature, and then that's gonna be it. But we've talked a lot about swimming turtles.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring out one here that's very special. He's a good friend of mine. We've had him for over a year now, I think, maybe 2. I have to double check the paperwork. This is my buddy Pancake.
Ooh, that is, you are so different looking.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So Pancake here is a soft-shelled turtle from Florida. So he doesn't have a hard shell. It feels leathery, almost like, can you feel it there? Almost feels like a manta ray if you've ever felt like one of those, right?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Oh, don't splash me. So you can see big. That'll happen.
Really? It had to happen with the turtle. I had to scream during a turtle.
Well, it's kind of wet. Yeah, he splashed a little. So he's got a really long neck, which he'll stick in there to hide, or it can come all the way out. We'll try to keep the splashing that way. Here, I got an idea.
Okay.
You pull that out.
Okay.
I'm just going to put him on the table. There we go. Now you can see. So he's got pretty sharp claws for digging in the sand when he's down in there, because he spends all his time in the water.
Those little paddles.
Yeah, so he's fully aquatic. He does not need to leave the water. The females only leave the water to actually lay eggs on the side of the riverbanks or whatnot. And the females are twice as big as this guy. Wow. Yeah, he's already about 11 years old.
Women power.
Well, actually, no, he's probably closer to about 12 years old at this point. He comes from the Assiniboine Park Zoo. He used to be in the Toucan Ridge there.
He's
You're not
amazing.
liking this. He wants to be back in his water. Yeah,
Right.
we'll put him back in his water. He's like, this is not what I'm signed up for. All right,
splash.
Splash, 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 having his little bath. There
Oh,
we go.
he's really unique looking.
Yeah, and you can see the long, flat body helps him slither
Yeah.
through the water, and big web
I like his
feet
little,
are
yeah, I like his
really good.
feet.
So this is one that doesn't make such a great pet because they do need a lot of space. He's in about a, what is it, like 300-gallon pond right now?
Oh, okay.
350-gallon pond, filter, a bunch of stuff for him to go set up. So
I need to come to the zoo. Come check everything out.
come check them all. It'll be pretty cool. Okay, so we'll do something cute here for you. And these guys are a very underrated little pet.
Okay.
Let's see if you're gonna not jump
Is
around.
it a rat?
No. There you go.
What is it?
It's called a dagu. A dagu, and it's kind of like a rat chinchilla cross. So they've got really fuzzy fur, like a chinchilla, but they kind of look like a little gerbil chipmunk type of guy.
Cute.
Yeah, it's a little boy. So Mama's back at our zoo, and she's actually ready to pop some babies. And the cool thing with these guys is when rodents have babies, like mice and rats are often little pinkies, right? They have to grow their fur, develop their eyes open, all that kind of stuff. These guys come out ready to run. Fully furred, eyes open, giving her. And they come out about the size of your thumb. Imagine 10 the size of
thumb?
my
Yours
thumb.
or
My
mine?
thumb. 10 the size of my thumb coming out of, well, she's a bit bigger than he is when that comes around. But they're easy to take care of because they just eat hay and alfalfa pellets. Here, we'll just let him chill in there. for a minute.
Open or awake in the daytime?
They're diurnal, so that's a nice thing. You don't have to worry about him running in a wheel all night. He's gonna sit around in there during the day, then at night when you go to bed, good to go. Also, they live 6 to 8 years, so compared to a hamster or gerbil that lives 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
longer.
better. No, I don't trust you're gonna go running around. And they can jump pretty far, actually. We were cleaning their enclosure, we had them just thrown into a big garbage can, and all of a sudden, boo, out, and he's running around. Yeah, and they will chew. So as far as the enclosure, you have to make sure it's all glass or all metal. Anything like the typical plastic, or if it's got that plastic bottom with the metal bars, they will chew out of that in no time flat.
Oh my goodness.
Like, it's ridiculous how much they chew. But they enjoy the dust bath too, which is pretty cute with these guys. Yeah, they are social, so you usually have to have like 2 or 3 of them at a time so that they can be hanging around. And they love going in the wheels, like those little hamster wheels that you get, and let them run around the house. And man, do they give her! So you got the 2 of them.
With the balls that you like put around in the house. And
They rip around, have lots of fun.
so cute.
Okay,
Did
so-
you bring any rats?
Nope, we do have rats, but I left
Do they
them at the
make
shop.
good
They
pets?
do,
Because
but they
somebody
live
told me
only
they
2
do.
to 3 years, so that kind of
Oh, okay.
sucks. So I got another tarantula here.
Okay.
So we learned a little bit about these in one of the other episodes there. Be interactive. This one's called a rose hair tarantula.
Okay.
So she's from Chile. You can see she's got lovely pink rose hair colors on top of her.
So pretty.
So she's got the same defenses. She'll rear up, she'll throw her hairs at us, and she could bite, but again, about the same as a bee sting equivalent, so she's not too bad. One thing we kind of slowly mentioned was that they molt their skin, right? They actually shed. So I brought a couple different molts here to show you. Oh, and this was that scorpion I told you. This one's a dead guy. So he's not alive, but this is an emperor scorpion. So the other episode we had the little desert hairy, really small pinchers. This guy's got huge, big pinchers. You'll see there's little hairs in there.
My gosh.
They act as like little trip lines. So if he feels something, he's like, just grabs it, eats it, and shoves it in. So he's ready to go. But back to the shed skins. You got a couple.
What?
So you can see each of the legs, these ones are broken off because they are so delicate. That's what it looks like.
That's wild.
So they flip upside down, and they push with all their might and push off these legs, and then they come out and they puff up a little bigger. So that's what it looks like. It's all a cluster. So this is what's
they look like little corpses.
all their legs.
Like,
You can even see right inside how each of those legs was hollowed out. And the really cool thing is too, you can see their fangs. They shed their fangs even. If they're dropped though and they crack, if you put a little bit of super glue where they're bleeding, essentially you can keep them and they'll be fine. Even if they have sometimes a molt, their leg will get pinched and cut off. They'll lose it and then you'll have a spider with just 7 legs. But like a crab, next time they molt, they start to grow that leg back until they're back to their 8 legs.
Crazy.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
So crazy.
Yeah, all these little pieces of legs around here everywhere.
The kids must love this
Oh yeah,
to show them.
they're creeped out. And often the little guys especially don't understand. They're like, why is that dead spider broken?
It's like, Todd.
No, it's essentially your clothes. Imagine you take your clothes off at the end of the day. That's kind of what they're
That's wild.
doing here. Yeah, she's calm. See, she's
Yeah,
not even trying to
she's
scurry. Just sits nice and chill. All right, let's jump to creature feature and learn a little bit about one of the pets that makes an awesome pet.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, welcome to this creature feature, and we're going to focus on corn snakes. So ball pythons are great because they are short and stubby. They eat once every month, so that's kind of neat. But corn snakes are a little longer and a bit more slender, but also more active. If you were going to sit on the couch, put a ball python on your neck, you can probably sit there and watch your Netflix and be fine. If you sit on the couch with a corn snake, there's a good chance within 2 minutes' time you're going to be looking through the couch cushions trying to pull that snake out. They're a little bit more active. We've got 3 in here. We've got our male and 2 females. We've got my buddy Patrick, who we met on our show. I'll pull him out here. He's hiding under his house. The girls are all active. They know we're going to be feeding them right away. So Patrick is pushing. I got him at about 12 years old. I've had him for 8. So yeah, he's about 20 years old right now. So he's a nice big boy. We'll maybe leave him here because we're going to feed him right away. And we have to feed them separately. And that's one thing is we either pull them out and feed them separately, or I make sure I'm on the ball with doing that. So what I've done is I took a little tray here that was sealed and put it in a hot water sink just to warm them up. So because they don't want to eat them frozen, obviously, like chicken fingers. They like it warm. So what I do is a lot of people grab them by the tail, and some people are even silly and they use their fingers and they go like this and they hope it hits. And snakes are not always the most accurate at hitting, and then you get your hand tag. Plus you're touching a really gross mouse. There's no winning to this, especially if you've been like leaving it in the water to thaw. It's gross. So grab one of these hemostats. You can pick them up at Winnipeg Reptiles. They're awesome. They have locking or non-locking. Locking helps for the big rats. But for a little one here, I grab it right behind the head and I come down and I wiggle it, and you can see his tongue smelling it, and there he goes. And even though he knows it's dead, or well, maybe he doesn't know it's dead, he's still constricting it to give it a chance. So we'll see if Candy over here wants to come. Oh yeah, Candy's on the ball. There we go. My apologies for the floor. I got some bird poop on the floor apparently. And then Casper's over here. We don't want to leave Casper out. Now the trick is, I don't normally do it like this, but again, being on TV, you want to add a little more to it. But they are fed individually just to make sure if they don't eat at the same time, or let's say they get bored and dropped it, I have had them go for the other snake's rat or mouse. So then I'm having to pry 2 snakes, 1 mouse apart, and that's not always a fun experience. So I'm going to step out for a moment, let you get some closer shots of these guys eating, because it's going to take them probably, depending on how fast and hungry they are, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So we might have to zoom up that speed just to get it, or at least some shots. So I'll let you enjoy this for a bit. job, Patrick. All right, welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed that creature feature, learning a little bit more about how to care about those awesome animals. We're down to the last couple.
Oh, I've been liking this.
Yeah, we got about 3 more here we're
3
going
more
to
to
do.
go.
I'm
Okay.
going to bring out a cute little gecko to start with. And this one actually comes from my friends over at Winnipeg Reptiles. They're a store, but also breeder. They breed a lot of awesome leopard geckos like this one, and
Oh my gosh.
as well as ball pythons. Being a breeder, it's not one that's been played with a lot. This one would be one that's for sale in their store.
Okay.
So it hasn't been handled as much, so it might be a
Oh,
little
what
bit
is it
more.
doing? Is it yawning?
Oh, yawning,
Or is it trying to bite you?
me. I asked them for a calm one, but
What?
look at the big mouth. Rawr. But you see, there's no real teeth. It's just a jaw.
Still terrifying. Look at it. Oh, I feel bad.
Put your nose in there.
Oh, get out of
No.
here.
The purpose of asking them to borrow one was because I have one leopard gecko, and
Okay.
I joke that he's like the meanest animal we have at our zoo. Here, maybe you just want to go on the table for a little bit. Is that better? But my leopard gecko, he'll be fine for a little while and be all looking cute and nice, and like, yeah, I'm good. And then you go to like put him down, and he turns around and he bites. And he doesn't just bite and let go, which would be fine. He does like a death roll like the alligator to try and remove chunks of skin. So it's...
Is that what happened here?
No, that was a truck incident where
Okay.
the truck slipped the wrench and there it goes. But
You should just be like, yeah.
these guys are pretty popular pets because they're fairly simple to take care of. They don't need any light because they're nocturnal. They do need a little bit of heat, usually from a heat pad is more than enough. 10, 15 gallon fish tank aquarium with a good secure lid is enough. Yeah, feel that tail.
You have his head?
Yeah.
Oh, he's very soft.
Now, like the other geckos, they can lose that tail, so we got to be careful as we're moving along, just giving one hand after another to go after. But like that fat-tailed gecko that I showed you yesterday, these guys are like their cousins. These guys like it more dry in the deserty region, whereas the fat-tailed geckos are more humid in the jungle side. So they have to be misted. This one
It's okay, buddy.
doesn't have to be misted as much. What's wrong?
Upset. Maybe he's yawning. Maybe it's just a really long yawn.
Well, and the other thing is these are some pretty bright lights too, right? And he's nocturnal, so, or she, I should say, she's nocturnal, so she probably wants to just go back into somewhere dark. So, you know what, maybe we'll let her do that
Okay,
instead of
all right.
stressing her out too much. One of the cool things that these guys do though too is like the fat-tailed gecko, they always go to the bathroom in the same spot. So you can pretty much litter train them. When you find out where they're going to the bathroom, you just sort of move it where you want to, and they'll
Yeah.
always go there.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and they live like 15 to 20 years, so they're a pretty good starter pet. And when they shed their skin, they eat it.
Oh, they like to clean up after themselves.
Exactly, because they're often staying in the same place where they sleep. They have a little home, and they don't
Yeah.
want to leave their skin there, mess it up, and also have
Yeah.
predators know where they've been staying, so they eat it up
Eat
to
it.
clean it up, and it's apparently a good protein source for them. So, yeah.
All right. This looks like another snake.
Yeah, this will be the last snake we
Okay.
have to do.
I like the snake part.
Yeah, this is my Woma python.
Not the lizard snake ones.
This one's pretty.
Ooh. Wow.
So, a Woma python comes from Australia, and the thing with Australia is they don't export any of their animals. So any of the animals that we have here in North America that are Australian species are ones that were very expensively exported through special processes.
Smuggled
Or
here?
smuggled, yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of that stuff happened when it was easier back in the 80s, and now they've been
Yeah.
established. Stuff like the bearded dragons, Woma pythons and whatnot. It's quite lovely, and even though it stands out here on our green mat where they come from in Australian desert, you can really see how it helps head in the sand. And then it's got the cute little eyebrows. Let's turn you around so you can see the eyebrows there. Aren't those cute? The little yellow
Look on
face.
the top.
Oh,
Hi.
it's checking you out. Getting ready to strike.
Stop saying stuff like that.
No, I think I fed him a couple weeks ago. He should be pretty good. So,
Brad.
so with shedding with these guys, like with the tegu I showed you, it was pieces. The gecko eats their skin. Snakes, now this is not from this snake, obviously. This is from a much smaller snake, but they start right from their head. And look at this. See, they've got little eye caps, like goggles,
Oh, yeah.
right over there. So that's why snakes don't blink either. And that protects them. So they wiggle and squiggle, pretends it's a snake's head, until the skin comes under their chin and over their nose and from their head all the way to their tail. It's kind of like rolling a big sock down. It's like in a clump.
Yeah.
And it's kind of squishy at first before it dries out like this. So I'll take it and pull it all the way out. And this is actually completely inside out from tip to tip.
Very
It's pretty cool.
neat.
And I brought a bigger one too from another python that actually comes from Australia as well. This one's from a carpet python. I think it was a Brettles. Now, this thing is in terrible condition. It's been to a few too many parties, And while I don't let the kids touch it, I believe some of my staff, like Simon, might have because it's looking pretty ratty. Look at that.
That's amazing,
It was in
though.
pristine condition originally, but here we'll look at the face, and you can see even on this big guy, there's those little eye caps again, right? And right from the nose all the way down to their tail, they do that. So a snake will first shed their skin about 10 to 11 days after they're born. Depending on the type of snake, they can either be born in eggs, like these guys lay eggs, or like our garter snakes are live bearing, right? So after they're about 10 to 11 days old, they'll go and have their first shed. And then it's every about month, and it starts to pick up to every couple months to every couple years till they continually shed right through the end of their life. But it's gradually gets a little bit slower till they pass away. Yeah.
And how long did these guys live for?
These guys, I think, are in the 25 to 30 year range, give or take. They can get a little bit bigger. This is one of our smaller ones. But don't let the size of the head fool you, because that little head that's like what, size of my thumb roughly,
Yeah.
will eat a jumbo rat size of both of my fists. But we're usually feeding these guys once every 2 weeks, give or take. Hey, do you want to try holding her? Or, yeah, this is him, actually. He feels really cool and muscly.
Oh, he is.
Right?
Wow.
Lovely little head.
Whoa.
I just love the eyebrows, though, on these guys. Makes him look very curious and almost upset.
Yeah, he's heavy. Like he's actually, yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's all muscles, and muscle weighs more than fat, so he's a girthy little guy.
It's amazing. Hi.
Right on. Good job. All right, well, let's put her back in.
Okay.
Or, sorry, I keep saying her, I don't know why. We do have another pair at home, and I think it's usually the girl that comes out with me, so.
Okay.
There we go, toss her. Now, my last friend is a real cutie, and she's a surrender that came in, I think we've had her for about a year now. She was free roaming in someone's apartment or home, and they couldn't quite keep the proper humidity for her, obviously. So they brought her to us, and they actually send every couple months a donation to help take care of her still with us, which is really nice. So they thought Nigel was a boy at first, but after a vet visit, found out Nigel's a girl.
Okay.
She's about 4 years old. She's
Nigel.
and she's a redfoot tortoise from South America. You can see the red on her knees there. And her shell has grown really nicely. So
Yeah, it's
each of
beautiful.
these are called their scoots, and each tortoise has 13 of them. And when they're born, each of these would have been touching. And then as they grow out, they all sort of separate. And again, it's made of the same stuff as your fingernails.
Hi.
For a tortoise, though, these guys aren't just like complete herbivores. They do eat a lot of protein as well. So she gets shredded up chicken breasts. She'll get eggs. She gets a little bit of everything. She gets some worms too as a snack there once in a while.
That's so cute. And are these the ones you put out with the rabbits?
Yep. Her and the leopard tortoise, the bunnies get to go play outside in the summer once it's nice. We have a big enclosure with the top because I live out near Lorette, right along the river, and we've got coyotes out there. We've got birds of prey. There's a family of owls that live just off our
so you have to
property.
keep them
So,
safe.
yeah, not only stuff in and out, we'll just make sure they're all safe. Our Kai, the big tortoise there we learned about the other day, she actually made an escape one May long weekend a couple years back.
It's May long, you wanted to go out.
Yeah. This was at our different property, so we didn't have to worry about stuff on top. And I just had a wall around her pen, and I had it dug down so she couldn't get under. But Miss Smarty Pants took the dirt from digging, made a pile, and up and over, and booked it over to the neighbors and took down half their garden. So
They're
very nice.
What a wild May long weekend.
yeah, they were very nice. When they returned her, they brought her back. They found a tank in the back of my yard. They put her in there and put a bunch of water. And luckily, they didn't drown her because being a leopard tortoise, she's from Africa in the desert, doesn't need it. But it's like the effort was there, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So this one here, Nigel, will get a little bit bigger, and I don't think they live quite as long as like the leopard tortoise. I think these guys are more in the 50 to 60 year range, so they might be a better option for someone that doesn't want to have a pet that's living as long or longer than they're going to, right?
Yeah.
Well, that is all the stuff that we had to show you and learn about.
Loved
I
it.
thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys learned a little bit about some of these animals. If you have any questions, make sure to check out our website, our Facebook, all that fun stuff, and enjoy.